puppet master or prisoner? What is America really doing in the Iran-Israel war? February 28, 2026. 2:37 a.m. Eastern Time. Donald Trump posts an 8-minute video on Truth Social. His face fills the screen stone cold. We tried peace.
Iran chose war.
Hours later, Operation Epic Fury begins. 2 U.S. carrier strike groups. Dozens of F-35s.
B-2 stealth bombers.
Israeli jets swarm from the south. Targets: Tehran power grid, Isfahan missile factories, Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei's convoy. At 86, Iran's maximum leader for 37 years, is gone. Dead. Iran fires back. Missiles rain on U.S. bases in Qatar, Saudi Arabia, UAE. Airspace shuts across the Gulf. Oil spikes toward $200 a barrel. Oxford Economics warns of global recession. This isn't ancient history. This happened 6 days ago. And America? Right in the middle. $21.7 billion in military aid to Israel since October 2023. U.S. jets intercepting Iranian missiles. Direct strikes on nuclear sites. Red Sea naval patrols costing $2 billion a month. Is America the puppet master dictating Israel's moves? A prisoner trapped by unbreakable alliances and domestic politics? Or a calculated player with its own skin in the game? Pull up a chair. This is 20 minutes of fresh facts from March 2026. Military deployments. Political cage fights. Economic body blows.
No fluff. No Wikipedia.
Real developments. By the end, you'll know exactly what America's doing and why you should care. Part 1. The aid pipeline, $21.7 billion and counting. 4 minutes. Let's start with cold cash. The U.S. Israel Memorandum of Understanding guarantees $3.8 billion annually through 2028. But that's baseline. Since Hamas attacked October 7, 2023, America shipped $21.7 billion total. $17.9 billion under Biden through 2025. Another $3.8 billion already under Trump 2.0. What does that buy? Hellfire missiles delivered days before Israeli strikes on Hezbollah. 3,000 2,000-pound bombs for Gaza operations. F-35 components to keep Israel's Air Force flying. War reserve stockpiles stationed inside Israel, replenished by U.S. transport planes. March 4, 2026, just 2 days ago, the Pentagon approved a $151 million sale of artillery shells, direct from U.S. factories to Israeli howitzers pounding southern Lebanon. Iran watches this, knows every Iron Dome interceptor costs $50,000 to $100,000, knows America foots half the bill. The puppet master argument. This aid isn't charity. It's control. Washington can throttle shipments to force Israeli restraint. Biden did it briefly in May 2024 over Rafah concerns. Trump could do it tomorrow. The prisoner argument. Congress won't let presidents pull back. AIPAC spent over $100 million in the 2024 cycle alone. 90% of House and Senate members vote pro-Israel every time. Try cutting aid. Face primary challenges funded by the same donors. Reality? Both. It keeps Israel fighting on multiple fronts. But domestic politics make it politically radioactive to stop. Part 2. Boots in the sky or direct military action. Aid is passive. What about active combat? April 13, 2024. Iran's first direct attack. 300-plus drones and missiles from Iranian soil. U.S. F-22s launched from Jordan. RAF Typhoons from Cyprus. French Rafales. Jordanian F-16s. 99% interception rate. One Bedouin girl injured by shrapnel. Nevatim Air Base grazed. That wasn't support. That was America at war with Iran. Red Sea Campaign. Since October 2023, U.S. Fifth Fleet burns $2 billion monthly patrolling against Houthi drones and missiles. Over 50 commercial ships hit. 2 sunk. 12% of global Suez trade rerouted around Africa. $1 million extra fuel per tanker. Insurance premiums tripled. June 22, 2025. U.S. Air Force and Navy strike Natanz and Fordow nuclear sites. Pentagon claims 1 to 2 year setback. DIA intel leaks say months. Iran retaliates with missiles on Al Udeid Air Base. Qatar. Qatar's defenses intercept everything. 0 casualties. February 28, 2026, Epic Fury. U.S. carriers USS George H.W. Bush and USS Harry S. Truman launch 120-plus airstrikes. 16 Iranian Quds force planes destroyed at Mehrabad Airport. Tehran power grid flickering. March 7, 2026, yesterday. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth announces 5,000 additional Marines deploying to the Gulf. Defensive posture. Puppet master. America dictates the war's pace. Provides the muscle Israel lacks for deep strikes. Prisoner. Every U.S. jet overhead is a target. Qatar base proves Iran can hit back. Marines now at risk. The math doesn't lie. Without U.S. air cover, Israel's multi-front war collapses in weeks. But American pilots and sailors now have Iranian missiles in their sights. Part 3. Political Chains, Why Congress Won't Say No. Every president since Eisenhower called Israel America's unsinkable aircraft carrier in a hostile region.
Carter, quand David d'accord.
Reagan. Sold $3 billion in arms despite Lebanon invasion backlash. Clinton. $3 billion annual baseline established. Bush. $30 billion 10-year deal. Obama. $38 billion MOU, largest ever. Trump. $14 billion supplemental for Iron Dome. Biden. $17.9 billion emergency aid. Trump 2.0. Strikes despite 53% of his voters opposing involvement. The lobby lock. AIPAC and allies dropped $100+ million in 2024 to 2026 cycles. 98 House freshmen took pro-Israel money. Thomas Massie, Republican Kentucky, is the lone holdout, refuses AIPAC cash, votes against aid. Result? Primary challengers funded against him. 2026 strikes backlash. AOC. Impeachment grounds. Bernie Sanders. Grossly unconstitutional. 53% Trump voters say stay out. Gallup. Israel favorability hit 25-year low among young Americans. Yet Senate passes $15 billion supplemental March 5. 82-18 vote. Global angle. 45+ U.S. UN vetoes protecting Israel since 1972.
Abraham accord normalise d'UAE, Bahreïn, Morocco.
Saudi talks advance despite Gaza. Puppet master veto power. Aid control. Regional realignment on U.S. terms. Prisoner. Domestic politics make retreat impossible. Cut aid, lose elections. Congress votes aid like clockwork. Presidents complain privately. Deliver publicly. Part 4. Economic stakes, oil, defense, and debt. Defense industry boom. 75% of aid must be spent in America. Raytheon Hellfires, Lockheed F-35s, Boeing dams, 20,000 U.S. jobs direct. Multiplier effect doubles it. Red Sea tax. Houthi attacks force 12% global trade around Africa. $1 million extra fuel per tanker. Suez Canal revenue down 50%. U.S. patrols protect $1 trillion annual flow. Hormuz sword. Iran threatens 21% world oil. IRGC. No drop passes. March 8th Brent crude. $112. Up 15% since Khamenei strike. Oxford Economics. Full closure equals 4% global GDP hit year 1. Iran's collapse. Sanctions since 2018 cut GDP 15%. Currency lost 90% value. 2026 strikes destroyed 30% power generation capacity. America's bill, $2 billion monthly naval ops. $21.7 billion aid. Marines deploying. Interest rates tick up. Debt service balloons. Puppet master. Controls global energy flows. Defense jobs flow home. Prisoner. Oil shock hits voters at gas pump. Defense spending adds trillion to debt. Part 5. Strategic endgame, what America really wants.
Iran contint, proxy degraded.
Hezbollah 60,000 Israelis displaced but leadership decimated. Houthis contained. Nuclear program months behind. Regional order. Abraham Accords expand. Saudi normalization inches closer. Qatar hosts U.S. base despite Iran ties. Great power check. Russia gets Iranian drones for Ukraine. China buys sanctioned oil. U.S. reminds both, Gulf is ours. Nuclear clock. IEA reports Iran had 440 kilograms, 60% uranium pre-strikes. Weapons grade needs 90%. Strikes bought 6 to 24 months. Puppet master. Dictates timeline. Shapes Middle East map. Prisoner. Khamenei dead accelerates unknown Iranian response. IRGC succession fight. Nuclear sprint possible. The verdict. All three. Leaning puppet. 2 minutes. America supplies the bullets. Flies the jets. Drops the bombs. Israel needs Washington more than vice versa. But unbreakable commitments create prison bars.
Lobby dollar.
Bipartisan consensus.
45 un veto.
Fresh March 2026 reality. Khamenei gone.
Iran déstabilised.
Nuclear delay. Regional allies realigning. U.S. debt and gas prices rise. Watch these signals. Hormuz drone footage. IAEA uranium kilos. AIPAC primary spending. Marine deployments. Puppet master holds the strings today.
Prisonnier pays tomorrow.
Final question. When Iran rebuilds centrifuges, whose jets fly next?